Perfection is a profession, and the Boston Uprising have suited up for the job. They have accomplished their mission of becoming the first Overwatch League team to have a perfect stage. We'll see them again tomorrow when they'll be picking their opponent for the Stage 3 finals. Up next, we have the NYXL going against the Shanghai Dragons. Now, of course, we all know the NYXL, they're already locked in for the Stage 3 playoffs as the #2 seed, so they're pretty much just playing to stay warm at this point. But the Shanghai Dragons, they're still going after that elusive first win, and a lot of people are saying that there's a possibility that they could do this against the NYXL. When I say a lot of people, I mean the Blizzard Arena, because everybody here is pretty much a Shanghai Dragons fan. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, guys? No, I'm right. I'm pretty right. I don't know about you guys. I'm ready to get this thing rolling. So let's go ahead and throw it on over to Golden Boy and the band at the desk.
All right, thank you, Malik. We've got one match down, 2 more to go. I'm your host, Golden Boy, alongside with Brendan Sideshow. And, you know, we mentioned at the end of the last segment that this was essentially this was the battle of David versus Goliath here. And, I mean, honestly, anything is possible.
You know, in the story, it was David who ended up winning against Goliath. So, you know, what are we trying to suggest here? That Shanghai going to be winning?
All right, if you ran that battle many times over, Goliath would have won like 99% of the times. It requires a biblical miracle here for David to be able to win. This would be a miracle of biblical proportions if Shanghai Dragons were able to win over NYXL today. It is the bottom team in the league against the top team in the league, and there is a big gap between them. It cannot be overstated.
We're getting very holy here
Josh.
on the desk today. Well, Boston have gone undefeated in Stage 3, but the NYXL, they're still kings at the top. They're 26-3. Their overall standings. Boston locks up that #1 seed for the stage, and NYXL will be #2, but still, when you look at those overall standings, I think it just kind of speaks to the prowess of this NYXL team. They are considered to be the best team in Overwatch right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get caught in the hype of Boston, isn't it? You know, just coming off the back of this massive win streak that they're currently on. But New York are still the top dogs here. They are still stacked with talent from head to toe. They really do, as well, research their teams. It's hard to see them not coming out on top in a lot of these scenarios that we're seeing into the near future.
And I would say that when we've seen the games from NYXL recently, it looks like they're saving something for the playoffs. It looks like they're saving something for that Stage 3 playoffs. The games that we've seen recently, you know, Pine just going crazy. They got a load of other players that are kind of doing their own thing. It looks like they're not playing at 100%, but they're still so good. So as soon as they bring it out and play to their full potential, this team is nuts.
Yeah, and, I mean, Pine. I mean, this guy, if he comes out, I'm worried.
Mate, the other day against Dallas, you want to see the stuff he was doing, the 360 headshots, straight styling on people. It was actually ridiculous. I mean, the guy really does not slow down in the slightest with anything he's ever done. And he is a ridiculously mechanically skilled player.
Look at that.
This is ridiculous.
It was so good, though, because he just kept doing it over and over. And it was just like, he was actually just trying to create a frag movie.
It's honestly ridiculous. And I gotta say as well, this is my Pine impression. So this, again, my gun. Boom.
Why would you do
Headshot.
that?
Boom. But also, he's going to be making absolute mincemeat of Shanghai Dragons, in my opinion, as well. That's the real danger here. It's like very much so I can't actually eat fabric despite popular
Why are
belief,
you
but
eating the...
Don't worry about it, mate. It's all part of
I thought
the
that was
job.
supposed to be a bib.
No, he actually
was,
eats bibs.
But also I do eat bibs. But here's another prediction for you, right? If Shanghai Dragons do end up winning today, I will eat this flag.
I swear, I swear I'm a professional.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm absolutely not.
But the highlight, the silver lining for the Shanghai Dragons is that they've brought in new players, and some of them are actually performing really well. Ado is a guy that I'd love to highlight because he does have potential. He's a developing player, but he has a potential to be a star one day. Look at how he compares to Libero on Genji when he's playing in the best team in the world. He's got more final blows. His Dragon Blade efficiency is higher, getting more kills with his Dragon Blades, but he's dying a lot more. So yes, he's an aggressive player and he's dying, but he's still getting value from those Dragon Blades and just in general value from his Genji. They have the individual talent in terms of potential players, but the thing with the Shanghai Dragons is they have 6 potential players, basically.
Yeah.
They've got like 6 rookies that, if you put them on better teams, would probably be able to perform really well. Fearless, Skeggery as well. And Ado, I think, are the big 3 for them. Maybe Dia as well, if he was on a slightly better team. But because they're all in the same boat together and they haven't had the same time to develop that synergy, that's why they're languishing at the bottom without a win right now. But in the future, we could really see these guys come into their own.
Yeah, I could not agree more with you there. But we're living in the present right now, and I got to bring out our first squad to the stage. So let's go ahead and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Blizzard Arena. Let's make some noise for the NYXL. And as we mentioned before, this squad sitting at the top of the overall standings, and while they are number 2 in Stage 3, I mean, everyone looks at them as a very formidable threat, not only for the Stage 3 finals, but just for the overall season of the Overwatch League, potentially being the Season 1 champion.
You only need to look at the overall standings here, Golden Boy, and you can immediately see why we rate New York Excel as the #1 team, absolutely. They've got a map differential that's out the wazoo right now, and it is out the wazoo. And it's going even further. This team seems unstoppable in a lot of senses, and this is a position that we knew that New York was going to be good coming into the season. We didn't quite know they were going to be this good. They were going to be so, I guess, untested in a way, because a lot of the teams that we thought were going to be going head-to-head against them, like London, like Seoul, have really been slumping, whereas New York just seem to be getting stronger and stronger.
They definitely do. There were some unknown quantities, like this guy in front of you, Jonah. He had never played on a proper professional team. Rookie of the season for
He's
sure.
Incredible. He
Maybe
really
MVP of the season. And this is a new guy that they brought in, Animo, as well, from a former Korean team that was smashing people over in the Pacific. And I want to see style, pizzazz from them today when they go up against Shanghai.
360 headshot.
I want to see more of that stuff.
You want to see the garnish?
But honestly, this game could be less close than this game could be closer than the one against Dallas. Dallas at the moment in a bit of a slump. Shanghai are starting to get better. You know, they had competitive games, took Philly to a map 5.
Yeah, well, it's going to be good for them to have Animo in this lineup, kind of gel with the squad a little bit more, get him acquainted with his teammates, and that's something that's actually going on quite a bit with our next squad. So let's just go ahead and welcome them out to the stage as well. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Shanghai Dragons. And a fan favorite, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Everyone loves rooting on the underdog, unless it's Brent.
I love this
security escort.
I love this quote as well, is that the Shanghai Dragons are everybody's second favorite team. Everybody has like a team that they really root for. Maybe it's where they live, or maybe they love a certain player, but everybody is there to support the Shanghai Dragons every time they take to the stage to see them get that first win. Are they likely to get it here? No, they are not. But they just came off a very close attempt at getting it against Philadelphia. Went to a map 5. They were really making the Fusion sweat. We know that this team is starting to get there.
It's only a matter of time until they get this first win, honestly. This team is improving at meteoric rates, really, compared to where they first started out at. If you compare their performance at the start of the season, before they got in all these new additions, to now, it is night and day between them. And a big part of this is Guguri coming into this lineup as well. And this is a player that Guguri, at the start of the league, was actually, I'm just going to straight up say it, was an average player at the start when she came into this team.
I agree with
but
that.
Now, she has improved massively. I would actually honestly put her up there as one of the best off tanks in the league. Not the best necessarily, but definitely up there in improvement.
I think she's in the running, definitely, and she had so much hype coming into the league, right? And so it
skewed it a little bit.
It kind of maybe overshadowed the improvement that she's made alongside the whole of the rest of the team. But now she's a real focal point and could be incredibly dangerous. So there's certainly pieces to look out for. Ado, Giguri, Fearless, those are my 3 to be keeping your eye on here in this match.
Yeah, those are some impact players, and the impact was definitely felt as soon as these players joined the lineup. But now this is when things are going to get a little tough. And I know everyone wants to cheer on the Shanghai Dragons, but sometimes we got to take a little dose of reality. This is going to be a very tough matchup for the Dragons because the NYXL are a dominating squad. Let's send it over to your casters to get into the action. It's Monty and Dawn.
Wow, Golden Boy, just keeping it so real, man. A dose of reality.
Usually that's my job, Golden Boy.
You're the one.
Puckett's sitting there, just pander-bearing it up, and I have to come in and just put the wet blanket on it. But
what are we
thanks
supposed
for doing
to do
that in advance now. I really appreciate having the backup here, Golden Boy.
What kind of toss is that anyway? Hey guys, there's a dose of reality. The Dragon's probably going to lose. Like, thanks a lot. Let's pass it over to our casters. Like, hey guys, we got a great match. Thanks, Golden Boy. Well, we're going to Volsky Industries first. It's going to be our assault map. And I think it's going to be a fun match to watch either way.
It's still really important to New York, too, because even though with the Boston win in the last match, they can't take first seed this stage, by winning today, they can put themselves 5 games ahead of the Boston Uprising in first place in the overall season standings. And this is important because their map differential is already huge.
Yeah.
And it would require something absolutely crazy happening, like Boston 10-0ing the stage, and then New York going 4-6 or something like that in stage 4 to knock New York out of first place. So every match just increases the odds that New York will be our first seed in the overall season playoffs. So this win's still going to be really important for them.
You know, and that's the thing, and they've had a nice kind of week to cruise through so far leading up to playoff Sunday, right? I mean, they played Dallas last night. That definitely went New York's way, and now they have Shanghai today. I mean, this is a good opportunity for them to kind of rest their players, get prepped for the playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think all their prep is going to be going into the likely playoff teams, particularly Boston, who I think is their only really dangerous opponent that they will be facing in the stage playoffs when it comes to the current form of the teams in the Overwatch League. And with Shanghai and Dallas, they've had ample opportunity to prepare for that.
You think so? They're going to grab the high ground right away. NYXL on the attack here on Full Sky Industries. Going to jump up, try to push Fearless off the top. They did that successfully. Now Fearless going for the dive. They've got Jonak separated. He's between a Winston and a Tracer, but now he's got a bit of support from his Diva. He's going to be okay. Meko got in there just in time. Meko's so good at protecting his supports in DPS. I love watching this guy. New York jumping on the point right now. Fearless trying to get aggressive again. They've got Mano a little bit low. Sabiubi though pops Keikuri out of the mech. As Mano falls, Keikuri down as well. Jonak there with the kill. Now Meko back in the room for a kill into Diva. Animo manages to get Zen back up again. Jonak back in the fray. And Shanghai down a couple people. It's going to be a short-handed fight.
It's still a 4 versus 4 in favor of the New York Excelsior.
That spawn advantage, though. The NY player is going to get back a little bit quicker, but Otto could change everything with the Dragon Blade. Slashing away. Sableby did get Sky with the Pulse Bomb in the meantime. Otto can't get anything with that blade. Gets pushed back. Sableby grabs too. Sky does get res, though, which is pretty crucial as Meko popped out of his mech. Meanwhile, not a tick taken yet for New York Excelsior. Keikuri and Fearless on the point right now, pushing him back, but the fight has kind of moved off of the point a little bit. And Mano's just kind of wrecking people elsewhere. So now is a move back to the point that should be A going over to New York.
And Shanghai Dragons get better at executing this dive defense on Volskaya every time we see them. This time they take over a minute and a half off the clock, so they make things difficult for the NYXL on the approach. It's a style of defense that we saw a lot when it came to, say, stage 1 of the Overwatch League. And they are really the only team that is currently running that style of defense here on Volskaya as we take a look at Mano knocking some people off.
Mercy should have just jumped into one of those giant robots and just like wrecked Mano, you know?
Yeah, that's absolutely what
Aldridge should have done, but oh well. Ooh, Echo gets a kill into Fearless. To start things off, Otto throws up the Reflect, but after he takes a shot from Libero on that Widowmaker. Altering, brings Fearless back into the fray. Keikuri pops that self-destruct. Ooh, Dia comes in for the kill onto Libero. And now Jonak trying to chase people down. Altering dead. Sabiubi got that final blow, but Dia gets a bit of revenge onto Jonak now. Mano coming in again. There's a res onto Jonak. They've got him back. Dia in a little bit of trouble. Sabiubi fighting that Tracer 1v1 and gets him with the melee. Now Keikuri a little bit on her own, waiting for the respawns to come in. She's got the supports back there, but she can't stay in the mech. And New York already near taking B here, and the self-destruct is gonna zone him. That's 5:16 on the clock in favor of New York.
Huge snowball coming out, and especially the res onto Jonak. We always see, whether it's Animo or Arc, usually it's Jonak that gets res. They like his damage and healing output to come back into these engagements, and that gives them enough to get that primal rage. Mano pushes everyone off the point, and they're going to take it quite quickly.
Oh, just a great round for Mano. I mean, he was able to zone the supports on point A, help them grab that, and then point B did a lot of the work too. New York kind of crushing their way through their attack run.
And nothing too surprising, obviously, from New York. Of course, running the Tracer and Widowmaker. Maybe if they're pushed back to point B, we'll see them move over to the Tracer and Genji. The dive composition much more common on defense on point B. And the Shanghai Dragons looking like they will also be running a Tracer Widowmaker composition. Dia on the Widow. And where the Dragons have really struggled has not been taking point A on Volskaya. They've been pretty efficient at that. It's that when they get to point B, they often don't push onto the point aggressively enough. If you get a flank on them, they get distracted and start heading back outside of the choke point on their attack round. So what I want to see from them today, we saw better dive defense. I'd love to see them play the point itself on B more aggressively if and when they get there.
You know, at least with Shanghai, you can say they've kind of stabilized as far as what they're showing us in various games. You know, they've really kind of dedicated themselves to getting better at these dive compositions, and we finally have been seeing some real progress from them this stage.
Well, I like what they're doing because they're prioritizing execution over surprise. They're
Right.
sort of the opposite of the Dallas Fuel in that way, which is Dallas is currently attempting to prioritize sort of unexpected compositions rather than mastery of standard compositions.
Trying to cheese you.
Trying to cheese you a little bit.
There you
But
go.
I like the way that the Shanghai Dragons are nice attempt there at the sleep dart. We've seen more and more teams looking for early sleep darts on the scouting divas.
Yeah, I mean, if you can land that, it's huge. You're going to be able to demech the diva probably right away and put your opponent at an extreme disadvantage. And YXL on the defense here as Shanghai attacks. Pretty good mountain to climb if they want to equalize the time bank that New York has been able to take in their attack run. Going in, creating some space for Dia. Some time to put some art on the walls too, I guess.
That's right. It's a little vandal.
Oh,
Dia
there's
gonna
a
get a
shot.
nice shot onto Jonak. Animo will get the resurrection, but they're gonna push onto the point in the meantime.
Yep, that's right. Both supports essentially occupied, one rezzing, one dead, and that's going to allow Shanghai to get aggressive. They're on the point. They've taken one tick already. New York spreading out. They're going to try to come in this from 3 sides, it looks like. Sable will be Mano rejoining the team now. It's just Meko pushing Shanghai back again. And Libero throwing down a lot of fire as well. So Shanghai just not able to quite carry through with the momentum, it looks like.
And this is what happens with Shanghai. When you get in their back flank, they tend to back off, and that makes them more vulnerable, and they're not actually forcing any fights or forcing any pressure onto the point. Right there, Shanghai had a chance just to play more aggressively, and Sabiel be in the back line, managed to distract them long enough that they just voluntarily pull off the point.
Yeah, they get nervous. Meko protecting Animo long enough that he could bring Mano back to the fight again. And now it's going to be, wow, Sky using that Transcendence, trying to keep Shanghai in it. They've lost a few people already. I don't know about that one. Altering down via the Pulse Bomb, and New York pushing Shanghai back. I think that's a Transcendence that Sky will have wished he had not used.
And Mano jumps forward with his Primal Rage, and he dies out of Resurrection range. So now they're going to have to wait for Mano to get back. There will be a very brief spawn advantage, and to counter that, Libero will be using the Infrasight. This is only to buy time for Mano to return.
Well, Shanghai needs to take advantage of this. And like we just said, sometimes they've kind of struggled taking advantage of these windows that are kind of open to them. We'll see if they can. Mano back now, so the window has closed already. Sky down, Sabi will be taken out of support early in the fight. Fearless on the run, which kind of sounds a bit oxymoronic, but it's true. That's what happened. I can't say it any other way.
Fearless on the retreat.
That's right.
He
fearlessly retreated.
Yeah, that's right.
Bravely ran away.
It's a tactical withdrawal.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. Yep. Absolutely. It's better than dying, I suppose.
Certainly. I would definitely argue that's the case.
Yeah. Not that I've really tried both alternatives, but from what I hear.
You only get to, unlike in Overwatch, you only get to try dying once.
That's the word on the street. Dia finds the kill on the Libero, though. Nice shot from him. Shanghai goes in on the 6v5, making it a 6v6 as Animo brings him back up again. Now back down to a 6v5 in New York's favor. Sky taking on the back lines again. Sabielby has just been the bane of the support line's existence so far here on Volskaya.
He's providing such an excellent distraction. And, this has been such a big weakness for the Shanghai Dragons in Stage 3 is that we've talked about it. It seems like endlessly. The Chinese supports versus the Korean tank line, it does seem like there's a disconnect.
Jonak pops that Transcendence to stay alive, but he's got Meko right there who needed a lot of healing, too. So it worked out. Mano down, though. The Winston separated from the rest of the team, and now Sky coming in with another Transcendence here to try to push the edge for Shanghai. He's down, though. Libero finds him, and Jonak comes in with a kill onto Otto. See if he can get a bit more here. 2 ticks taken by Shanghai. They've nearly got A, and they got New York a little bit scattered. Libero down again, and there's a Primal Rage. Jonak might have won that fight, but not now. Getting a lot of healing, though, from Animo. He's just keeping him alive through the punches. And finally, Fearless has to exit.
I mean, but there's going to be another trance. He got so much charge off of Fearless during that fight, so they can keep on going with this. Are they going to use it? No.
Well, they didn't defend A. Nobody could get to the point, so Shanghai now can just rush B. And they might be able to get in there before New York has a chance to really set up.
I think that the Transcendence should be enough for them to outlast this, given the ultimates that the Shanghai Dragons have.
You'd think so.
Already up and available. Libero will switch over to the Genji, as expected.
Yeah, Altering pops that Valkyrie right away. Sky down, though. Jonak finds his Zen pick, and there's Libero onto Dia. Shanghai in trouble already. Altering gets run over, went for the res on Sky. He got it, but he paid for it with his life. Now Kagri gonna get demeched, it looks like. Ooh, she's really low, but no, just the reset. And they will go back to spawn.
That's one of the times where, once again, the Shanghai Dragons get too strung out. The tanks wanted to go onto the point, but the supports were left basically at the choke point, and then they were intercepted by the likes of Sabiolbi and quickly destroyed when Motto jumped in there to join them. So Shanghai wanted to commit to that point, and that's what you really want to see. I think if you're a Shanghai Dragons fan on Volskaya, Point B, they've struggled with this map more than most of the other ones in this stage, and a lot of it has had to do with their decisiveness on this attack.
Yep. Sabiolbi sneaking in. We gets found out though. Fearless not fooled. Not feared either, I guess. Sabiolbi waiting for a chance to use that pulse bomb now. Shanghai with a good amount of ultimates, but New York with a chance to equalize. They've got what they need to. Sky again fighting for his life against Sabiolbi. How many times have we seen that? Mano comes in for the finishing blow, and he pops that primal rage just to send Shanghai packing.
Be careful about how far they're going to push this, but everybody's out except for Jonak right now. Jonak stayed back to make sure that there wasn't going to be any kind of back cap attempt.
Yep.
But everyone else, 5 members of New York.
Hey, it was worth it when you can get that late kill onto Ultring, just delay the Dragons a little bit more. Totally worth it. But needs to be a coordinated effort too.
Certainly does. Shanghai going to be coming back with a wealth of ultimates to use in this next fight. They have great staying power with the self-destruct and the primal rage. Shanghai, this is something that they can really turn to their advantage.
Now they're going to try. 1:56 left on the clock. Libero lurking up top. We've seen him wait there many, many times. Here he comes in from behind, forces that Transcendence, saves his blade. Nicely done by Libero. And now Animo pops a Valkyrie as Shanghai comes in. Both Mercies using the ultimates. Sky in trouble. He goes down. Libero waited till just the right time to pull the blade out. Sabiolbi got Dia as well. And that just could not have gone worse for Shanghai. New York doing it pretty efficiently, and Jonak has saved this Transcendence for like 5 minutes now almost.
I mean, Mano scared at the trance out of Sky, and then was bounced around in that back line. Patience from the likes of Libero with the Dragon Blade, and Fearless was trying to zone out a couple members of New York on the backside of that fight, but then couldn't offer any support or crowd control to prevent Libero from picking up a couple of big kills.
Pretty much. Well, New York set out in a pretty spread defensive pattern here. Everybody in the right place. Mano getting aggressive onto Keikari. Fearless coming over to try to defend. Libero, meanwhile, farming up that blade. They've got Shanghai split up a little bit. Sky way back behind the rest of the team. He's had enough of dealing with Sabiolbi this map, I guess.
Certainly has. So Libero's still going to be on the flank here, looking for an angle onto Sky.
Yep, that's right. Dia getting a little bit low there. Libero has to back away. Keikari trying to chase him down. Meanwhile, Sabiolbi down. Dia found him with the Helix rocket. Big pick for Dia there. Now, can they turn it into anything more? No ticks taken yet by Shanghai. Remember, they need 2 points to equalize. There's Dia with the tactical visor, but Mato's all over him. He gets Sky as well. And New York with ults to spare. Look like they're going to hold this one. Blade comes out just to seal the deal. Transcendence used. Libero with 15 health. Can't stay up, though. And now Sky comes in, Transcendence expiring. That's going to be Animo with his Valkyrie here. Keikari on the point, but she's the only one. Otto can get back there, but he can't contest by himself. Fearless and Dia trying to run in as fast as they can at the moment. That's going to be the primal rage from Fearless. Jonak still has that Transcendence. Not going to need it. That should be the map as soon as they deal with Otto. I guess Ultring's there too. He could try to delay with the Lucio, but no, that'll be it. And New York Excelsior will take Volskaya.
Yeah, they will, Doa. Not a tick on point B, so New York with over 5 minutes in the time bank, very safe against the Shanghai Dragons attack, and that will put them up 1-0 in this series so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of domination you're expecting from New York Excelsior. Just really crisp execution. Sabiolbi being a huge pain in the back line, and Shanghai just kind of scattered by that one a little bit. Mano had a great game too, though, man.
And no surprises really from New York. Not that we were expecting any in this situation.
Get in the mech, Ultring, get in the mech. Oh, it's too late. Well, when we come back, map number 2. See you then.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
A big boss, the family sends their regards.
In week 2 of Stage 3, New York needed to hold Houston on Route 66 to force a map 5. With under a minute remaining and Sabiobi down,
Sabiobi's been removed.
the Outlaws looked like they would be able to push the payload to the next point, but Pine stepped up.
Now he decides to look for Bunny. He's got it. He gets 2. Is this the Pine moment? Is it happening? Cormat's able to dodge out of the way, get himself inside the shin, but that's 3.
With Banny coming down from a Valk, Pine eliminated the Outlaws' Mercy and then Linkzer's Widow. Next, the big boss took out Fact Fiction to officially end the push with time ticking away.
And the NYXL again win out a fight.
New York held the Outlaws, took the map, and won the tiebreaker for the victory.
Crushing loss for the Outlaws, but have a look at the relief on the face of New York.
That right there was the turning point where Pine and the New York XL turned a sour moment into something sweet. Presented by Sour Patch Kids Candy.
Well, I think it's just pretty much nothing but sweet. That was a hard sentence to say. Pretty much nothing but sweet for New York Excelsior this season and pretty much every stage so far.
Except for the one loss to the Boston
That's
Uprising, which has put them in the 2nd seed for our stage playoffs.
They just didn't want the burden of having to pick somebody to play against in the stage playoffs, that's all.
I guess that's probably the reason. I can
That's
see
like,
them
oh,
doing
we're
that.
too tired. We can't take
It
it.
was more of a gift to Boston in a
Yeah,
way.
there you go. Isn't that nice? That's friendly, isn't it?
I like Golden Boy's take, where they're just trying to recreate the Patriots Giants Super Bowl.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it could happen. I think it's very likely. In fact, we've got a sub. Hybrid map means that Janice is coming in for mono. Pretty normal to see from NYXL.
Yep, not too surprising. I think we'll probably see more standard strategies out of the NYXL on Numbani, probably more dive from Shanghai. Tracer Genji has been their dominant composition in Stage 3 since adding these many new players.
So, New York Excelsior. We'll see what they show us, because the thing is they really should be showing us and everyone else as little as possible in their games right now. And that's kind of what we've seen through most of Stage 3, I feel like, honestly, from New York, is pretty basic compositions, pretty, basic gameplay, just kind of winning based on the fact that they're just really, really good and kind of concealing as much as they can for, maybe the playoffs. Can't really say Stage 4 anymore since things are going to change so much meta-wise.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to Stage 3. This is a very long season for teams. It's hard to give it your all every single match and every single stage, considering how much they're playing. So dialing it back a bit, I think, does make sense. You don't want to show everything in your hand. You have such a huge lead in the standings. Dropping a match here or there, it's not really going to affect you. So I think you ratchet up everything once you get to the later parts of Stage 4 and the playoffs.
But Monty, what's the point of concealing your hand if you hold all the cards?
Oh, that's an excellent question.
Wonders. Here we go.
A question for the ages, really.
That's right. It's the pharmacy coming in for both sides here. DN Altering versus Animo and Libero.
Yeah, interesting that we're seeing the Shanghai Dragons run the Pharah on the defense. Usually it's New York that likes to play the Pharah on Numbani. They run it more than any of the other teams that we've seen in Stage 3.
I can't remember the last time we saw Farah versus Farah on Numbani Point A.
It's been a while.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, Fearless, he's going to be down. Good start here for NYXL. Kakery going to get D-Mech. Both tanks out of commission here. And Altering just still trying to boost and keep Dia healed. That's one. On air-to-air, the healing comes through, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, New York has zoned Shanghai completely off the point, and that's just going to be the payload moving.
I mean, all Libero was doing there was just zoning Dia out. He doesn't care if he gets the kill or not. And the big problem for the Shanghai Dragons, if you're running the Ana and the Mercy, and Fearless gets around the corner on that high ground, he can't get healed. So easy target selection, honestly, from the New York Excelsior.
Well, Dia takes the dive and swaps over to Widowmaker. Meanwhile, Sabiobi comes back and gets 2, but the pulse bomb, wait, hey guys, you got to finish point B first. They're already into point C. NYXL just crushing Shanghai here.
Meanwhile, Jonak is quietly and serenely spraying the cart in the back. He has been the one left behind when the New York XL have gone super aggro in the last couple of maps.
Oh, kidding. Wow, what a stick.
Nice stick right there. Get the D-Mech as well. That means Gregory has to go back, switch to Reinhardt temporarily just to remech, so gonna lose some ult charge as a result of the change. Otto is lurking behind the New York payload right now.
Yep, might be able to jump on Animo and Jonak here. Nope. Yep, Dia got Jonak, okay. There's one less one. for them to worry about. Otto still has that pulse bomb ready to go. There's barrage coming in from Libero. Dia down, Sky taken out by Sabielby. And Fearless bounces off of Meko for another kill in the fight, but Shanghai holding this one for the moment. They've still got a few more to deal with, but Janus at that primal rage is kind of splitting everybody up right now.
Yeah, Sabielby's still alive. He's actually pushed Altering all the way back towards the spawn. Fearless is there. He has a primal of his own. They only have 3 members on the payload right now, the Shanghai Dragons. There are 6 NYXL players.
Well, Janus went all the way to the Shanghai spawn and didn't make it back. That's not too shocking here. But New York hasn't left the point just yet. Sabi will be fighting it out with Fearless in the tunnel here. Fearless has to exit to go for that health pack. Sabi will be waiting though. He's got the pulse bomb ready to go.
Yeah, they're just gonna wait for Janus. I mean,
yeah.
Not too concerned
right
now. Sabi will be gonna find Dia in that back line, and there's no pressure on the Pharah now.
Not at all. Jonak able to free fire, but now the dive comes in onto him. He's gonna pop the Transcendence to give his team a little bit of a healing edge in the fight. Meanwhile, Libero just keeps dropping those rockets down, and that's gonna be point B, taken by New York.
They're going to keep on moving forward as well. Cleanup for the NYXL. They will start moving the payload through this tunnel and into point C. They have almost 5 minutes on the clock to finish Numbani.
Yep, it's about as much time as you can end up with. Rolling around point C here. Otto getting in the back. He's still got that pulse bomb.
Dia pops the infrasight right as they exit spawn, and that's why New York is just hiding around these corners right now, being patient, waiting for the wall hacks to finish up, and now they are gone, and New York is going to start moving back in. Libero is flanked all the way around, by the way. He is... Otto just finally figures out that he's there, and Libero goes to rejoin his team.
That's not a place you see the Pharah a lot. Barrage ready to go. Valkyrie used. On the Shanghai side, Otto and Fearless pick up a kill on Meko. Now Libero uses that barrage. Oh, but they jump right on him. He got Otto, but that was about it. Janus has to pop that primal rage, takes out Sky midair, and now jumping after Altering, whose Valkyrie is getting pretty close to ending, I would think, at this point. Just did.
Yeah, Altering gonna fall in the end to Jonak as he's displaced via the primal. And now, the march of New York continues, but they are gonna have to break off with Onimo down.
That's right, they'll have to wait a little bit of time. But the tense music has already begun. That tells us just how far New York has pushed this payload with still 3.5 minutes in the time bank remaining.
Yeah, Libero wants to be on the Genji. Now just realizing that they're gonna need a big ultimate to clean up a team fight if they want to push this payload home. And now New York going to be gathered up once again. Fearless in the back lines has a primal.
Yep, that's right. Could cause a lot of damage to New York if he can get in there. Transcendence used. Libero, ooh, taken out by Kagri, self-destruct. And Dia managed to get the snipe onto Sabielby. New York in a little bit of trouble here. Down to 4, down to 3 now. Shanghai still holding here on point C.
Yeah, good stall. Self-destruct, going to kill too many people, and Onimo not in position to get a resurrection. So in the end, the Transcendence doesn't mean very much coming from Jonak at all.
Nope.
And NY resetting in a big way with no ult. So this isn't going to be a fast push, most likely.
Otto uses Pulse Bomb, but didn't find any kills with it. Finds Libero, though. Now back on the payload. Go the Shanghai Dragons. Mark's still trying to find an angle to push in with this one.
It's going to eco push right now. They need to get some of these support ultimates up.
Yeah, well, they got Sky's Transcendence right now, so that's one. Kagri does get the D-Mech on the Meko. Pulse Bomb flies in. That was an optimistic one from Sabielby. Went for the 3-point shot there. Didn't land it. Fearless down, so is Mono, or Janus rather. Onimo manages to bring it back up again, so New York's still in the fight, but Otto's still lurking behind this team right now. Libero trying to do the same thing on the other side, just harassing that back line.
Yeah, Altering still with a Valkyrie, but Libero will be looking for targets with this Dragon Blade. He wants to come in. Altering going to use the Valkyrie early here.
Yep. Libero gets back to the Transcendence healing, pulls out the blade. Gonna go in after Fearless here. Fearless taking a lot of damage, now the turn. Libero trying to reflect to stay alive, gets away from the self-destruct. Meanwhile, Jonak down. Dia found another snipe. Janus down as well, and Shanghai gonna win this one. Win this fight at least. 1:25 left on the clock for New York. It's turned into a pretty great hold for Shanghai.
It absolutely has been a good hold, and New York is throwing their ultimates away left and right as they're trying these attacks. Dia also hitting some really big headshots at the end right here, including this one, which is not going to allow Meko to remech.
Yep. New York, I think you could see, got a little bit cocky on point B, and that's caused them to play maybe a bit carelessly here on C. Shanghai, you know, they might be at the bottom of the standings, but you still can't quite take them that unseriously.
Yeah, and they have to deal with Dia because he's the one who's opening up a lot of these picks. They have to wait again because Sky gets a volley kill onto Libero. So yet another failed push from the NYXL, who's maybe held here for the full almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, no kidding. They started point C with more time than you ever see a team start with, and they have been nearly held. 30 seconds remaining for New York. This is a fight they must win.
Back in
bomb.
now.
Oh,
On
Otto.
to Sabielby.
Yeah, Sabielby couldn't get away. Good start for Shanghai already, and there goes Jonas. I think they may just hold this.
They're going to push out again. They have to be careful about the Jonas respawn. Libero is also still behind them next to the payload. He's going to punish them and at least get overtime moving, Doa.
I mean, Mekko got demeked as well. That is huge. Transcendence comes in from New
Libero's
York
back
again.
capping.
Yeah, that's right. He's moving the payload on his own. Gets away. Somebody needs to touch it, though. They've got overtime. As Jonas gets back there, just in time, and Dia finds yet another kill on the Sabielby. There goes Libero. New York without any DPS right now. And the Primal Rage from Janus might just be pure anger and not much progress, as Shanghai looks like they're going to hold the payload right here.
A solid hold. Nearly 5 minutes of a hold from Shanghai on point C.
That was impressive.
It was.
Good Dia, you got to give that guy a lot of credit, man. He hit so many shots on the DPS. Found Jonak, found Animo a couple times. That one's got to sting New York a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. So Shanghai now will be moving into their attack round. New York, see if they also want to play the Pharah defense that they really like to run on Numbani.
Yep.
Or whether they'll go Widow Tracer. Has been, they do tend to swap between the two here on point A.
Well, and a chance here for the Shanghai Dragons to win a map. All they need to do is push the payload, I'd say about halfway, a little over through point C, which is certainly doable. I mean, point B, generally, no matter what the team is, no matter what the matchup is, pretty much a given. If they can get it through there, you know, with a decent amount of time to spare, they've got a good shot at this.
Definitely do. So it does appear that it will be Pharah for Libero, and it was looking like Tracer Genji on the attack for the Shanghai Dragons. Not going to be too much of a surprise.
Yep, going for the dive again. Pretty much what we've come to expect a lot of the times from the Shanghai Dragons. It will be the Pharah defense for New York, though. Libero on that pick. Animo going to be keeping him healed with the Mercy.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
And all the railings are destroyed, so we're ready to have a game of Overwatch.
They're destroyed previously.
Yeah.
They come pre-destroyed for the NYXL.
That is true. Shanghai doing a bit of the work on the defense early on. Looking forward to the no railings mode for tournaments in Overwatch.
There's Mekko with a giant red zero. I wonder why he's using that spray, Duh.
Red Zero, what could he be alluding to? Hard to say, really. Leaves a couple for Shanghai to find on the way out.
I love it. The mind games, it's part of the game, man.
Absolutely.
You get into your opponent's head,
Yep.
all the better for you. Part of
Shanghai.
the competitive advantage you can build for yourself.
Absolutely. NYXL on the defense. Shanghai trying to attack here. They've got a chance to win this one. New York wasn't able to finish in their attack round. And here we go, the dive onto the high ground. New York pushed back a bit. Janus and Sabielby still in the back lines of Shanghai. They're gonna have to deal with them. Janus goes down onto the support zone. Kagri falls back to try to defend. Shanghai has one tick so far.
That was a good counter dive by the Shanghai Dragons to prevent the harassment that has really been holding them back on some of these maps so far, and it's making it very difficult for New York to come back into the point.
Yeah, well, I mean, Shanghai doing to New York pretty much what New York did to Shanghai on A, and there goes Janus. Mekko gonna get demeked as well, and Shanghai kind of cruising forward to a take here on point A.
Man, that counter dive was really good from the Shanghai Dragons. Sometimes when you see them working in concert, they can respond to a lot of these attacks, and they're just going to straight up take point A on their first attempt.
Not bad. Just push New York right off of the point. They were so ready when Janus and Sabielby came into the back line. I feel like Volskaya was definitely a bit of a learning experience for these guys. They took the lesson to heart.
I mean, in my mind, Volskaya has been Shanghai's worst map this stage. So they definitely have performed better on some of the control maps so far. They have won in the past on Numbani.
Yeah. So now if you're New York, you want to defend the payload right where it is right here. If you can kind of guard this corner and keep your opponent bottled up and spawn a bit, that can be hard to push through sometimes. We have seen teams hold for a long time right here. Occasionally.
Dia wants to start looking for one of these pulse bombs. He is hunting for Zenyatta's right now, but Sabilby is there defending Jonak.
Otto pulled out the blade. Is he going to get anything out of it? Kind of gets juggled around right now. No kills from that one. Libero, though, may have gone down, but Animo brought him back up again. So New York still full strength for the moment. Dia getting trapped in the wall, or trapped in the room, rather, not the wall. That'd be terrifying for Tracer. I'd be worried about that. You blink into a wall, and suddenly you're stuck for eternity.
Wow, that would be really awful.
No kidding. What happens to your molecules then? Meanwhile, Shanghai losing some members. They're going to lose their supports here as New York pushes back on the defense. Dia 8 health, man. He has to get back to spawn. Kill comes in onto Kakery, and New York will hold. And like we said, this is kind of the spot you want to try to make your defense on point B.
And they've got plenty of time, though, still on their attack, thanks to the very fast point A take. Libero, the only one on the NYXL side with an ultimate right now. Otto actually nearly already in another Dragon Blade.
Yeah, he got that really quickly. Ooh, man, that was close. That rocket was going right for Sky. Libero has looked pretty good on the Spara so far this game. As he often does, it's going to be the Valkyrie used by Altering. Likes to use that a little bit earlier when he thinks the fight is kind of impending here. Sky down though, Sabilby getting him in the back lines. And now here comes a blade from Otto again. Janus down, Otto finds the first one, but Meko right there to equalize. Libero gets the kill with the barrage onto Fearless here, and Kakery kind of finds herself a little bit on her own with not a lot of healing.
And Meko actually knocked Kakery out of midair. So Kakery was doing the standard diva play, float up, try and kill the Pharah with her own barrage. But then Meko comes in, sort of derails her, knocks her off course. And
That's
it's
just
Kakery
Meko,
who's debacked instead. So heads up play there from Meko.
And that's what Meko does. That's why I talk about liking to watch this guy so much, because he's so aware of where all of his teammates are, you know, what he needs to do.
Yeah, just waiting for it too.
Yeah, what he needs to do to keep his team safe. He's one of the best, like, protective divas in the league, no doubt.
I would say he's the best diva in the league, straight up.
I think it's hard to disagree with that. Meko, as we talk about that, gets two, one with the self-destruct, and then just flies up and kills off Altering as well. Sky's gonna reset. Shanghai down to 2 minutes here.
I guess it's now in spawn camp territory for the NYXL as Libero is firing rockets directly into the spawn room.
Yep.
Janus and Sabilby on the flank right now. Otto knows where the other Tracer is, but gonna start to fall back right now.
Yeah, may have to recall here. No, he gets the healing, gets to the health pack instead. It's gonna be the self-destruct comes in, but Libero kills Kakery before she can back in the mech. It's gonna kill Meko though. So both divas down, but Jonak and Animo taken out by Shanghai as well. Shanghai's gonna finally get some progress going on this payload.
That may have been a little bit too much. Another barrage comes out. I think Libero is gonna be switching heroes now.
Yeah, that was definitely a hero swap barrage. I was like, let's see what we can get out of this, and then I'll change. Yeah, there's the swap to the Widowmaker now from Libero. As Shanghai nears the end of point B, New York has a chance. They can try to hold this if they want to. We'll see if
they
decide
definitely
to do it.
want to. Yeah, they
I
definitely
think
want
so.
to. They've got all 6 people there. Absolutely go after this if you can. They're going to play it aggressively with an early Valkyrie.
Janus down, great stick by Otto. Now it's just Meko as the tank on the payload right now. Dia gets the Widow v Widow on Libero here. Animo manages to find that res. A little bit of zoning done with the self-destruct, but Shanghai right back into it with the Transcendence from Sky. Now Transcendence out for Jonak as New York gets aggressive again. They've had the later support ultimates, and that lets them just be a little bit more crazy in the fight here. Sky down. Oh, nice shot from Dia. Man, he has looked so good on that Widow on Nibani.
And they still haven't managed to move this payload forward to that last point, but eventually with only Janus and Sabilby left, they may be able to get it done.
I mean, a good round for Dia on that Widowmaker, but New York still kind of making Shanghai pay for it. They finally get B. 2 minutes remaining to try to push as far as New York got.
And this is really doable for the Shanghai Dragons right now. Had to use quite a few ultimates in order to take point B, but with 2 minutes remaining and not that far to go in C, we've got about 2 fights to make this work.
Pretty much. Ults on the way soon for NYXL. Libero wants to take that Widow v Widow duel. been doing really well in it so far. Shanghai just trying to shove through New York right now. Dia takes a shot. Got to be careful here. And you got to go in. Okay, altering pops that Valkyrie. That's the go button for Shanghai. They're going to throw the self-destruct in too. Ado gets saved before it even lands. Echo in a little bit of trouble here, losing a lot of health. Now Kakari all over the Winston. Self-destruct comes in. Kakari going to take a lot of damage, but doesn't lose the mech. Libero does get Sky though, and Otto. So Libero kind of coming up big to bail his team out there.
Yeah, but a lot had to be used by New York, and there's still going to be an Inversight here to cover the cart with Dia, and they can push people off of it to drive it those last few meters home by using Fearless's Primal Rage.
That's the plan.
So Shanghai Dragons, they still should be really happy about this because realistically, it's going to be based around maybe a Transcendence here from Jonak.
Yep. 30 seconds for Shanghai Dragons. They're going to have their own Transcendence on Sky pretty soon here. Gonna have that Primal Rage too from Fearless, which is pretty crucial here. He might just use it in the back lines here, going deep. Trying to do some damage to Libero here. He's got that shield, now the Primal Rage. He's got the Widowmaker right where he wants her. Oh, but no, Meko comes in. Again, the Great Protector keeps his DPS alive, and now Shanghai finds themselves without their Winston, and they can't res him. He's not in the right place for it. New York going aggressive now. Transcendence used by both sides. Jonax was a little bit later here. Dia gets a kill into Libero again. Always been winning that Widow v Widow today. Big Diva coming in with that self-destruct, and Shanghai nearly gets it there. Just less than 2 meters remaining. Shanghai, they may have that one. They're getting the kills. Meko out. There he goes. And that's it. Shanghai will take Numbani. It's a tie series.
Absolutely, Doa. Great hold from Shanghai and C, and they get just enough done after a good A attack gives them so much time to finish off the map.
All right. We are going to go into halftime with a 1-1 series, all tied up between NYXL and Shanghai Dragons. Call it New York getting lazy, call it Shanghai playing better than we've ever seen them. Either way, we're all tied up. Don't go anywhere, guys. Halftime right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
eyes are not deceiving you, folks. The Shanghai Dragons are tied up with the NYXL going into the half. Welcome back. I'm Golden Boy alongside with Brennan Sideshow. It's happening.
Your heart wasn't in that, Golden Boy.
I mean, listen, I'm just going along with it. I like it. The energy in the Blizzard Arena was ridiculous. It was like The Rock walked into the room and everyone just went, "Oh my God, Dwayne Johnson!" Everyone just went bananas. That's what it looked like.
I think this audience would make more noise for a Shanghai win than for the
I
Rock
actually
walking
think
in.
they would.
All right.
I think they would. We have to test it out one day.
That's
We got to
true.
get The Rock to the arena.
But you know what, Golden Boy, I had such a delicious meal just then, and I got Bren his next meal right here.
Oh,
there
yeah?
you go.
What is it?
Yeah, what is this?
What
here
have we
then?
got? What's the tasty?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're gonna-
I mean, again, we did say this was David versus Goliath. David did win in the story as it goes.
It is, and then Goliath's supporters ate the flag. That's how it happened.
Yeah, so
of course.
if the Shanghai Dragons win this, and bear in mind, everyone thinks that this is a joke. Brennan Hook ate clothing at one point in time on his personal stream on Twitch.
He ate a suit.
I ate
He
my
ate a
suit
suit.
jacket.
He
I
ate
made a
his suit.
claim in Contenders to give the background to it. I made a claim in Contenders Europe way back when I was casting it. It was ancient times, long ago. That if a team made a full hold, I would eat my suit jacket, and I did. I ate parts of it, but I didn't eat it.
Crazier things perhaps have happened.
I will notice, so the stakes are definitely a lot lower this time around, because, like, you know, they have to win the whole
Yes,
game,
of course. I've learned my
right?
lesson.
You've
I've
learned your
my
lesson. I'm on to you, Mr. Hook.
Yeah.
And Shanghai have done this before, right? Where they bait you into it. You get your hopes up because they're tied at the half, and then things just kind of crumble away at the end. But I love the fact that they're still able to make it competitive. They did this against the Shock. They've now done this against Fusion. They're doing it against New York now. This is a team that you've got to start to respect, I think. You know, previously, everyone's just like, they're the bottom team, you know, free wins.
Right.
If they're able to put up results like this, they're actually, like, they're going to start taking wins.
Well, before everyone runs out of the Blizzard Arena and goes and buys the Shanghai Dragon jersey, which you should, because
I think they already have them.
Maybe. Let's take a look at the highlights, because we still gotta keep it real here, people. That's what GB's here for, baby. Keep it real. Because Volskaya was as real as it gets, and you had NYXL looking pretty darn good there.
Yeah, well, Skyer Industries, New York Excelsior are very good on this map. Shanghai have always looked quite bad on it as well, historically. So it was no surprise that it was quite a significant win for New York in terms of the one-sidedness towards it. But I will say this, we were saying as this game was going on that I actually quite like that New York are playing to their fullest here. Really, some teams, they do play down to their opponents, and I would really deem that as a sign of disrespect. But New York have not been doing that at all. It's actually quite respectable that they are giving it their all against the Shanghai Dragons. And we are now getting a competitive series now that they have evened it up in Numbani. So the stakes are quite high in this match here. New York are really being pushed to some of their limits in Numbani. And this is where it all happened. This is where it all chained around. It was feeling like a library in the arena when that first map kicked off. But then as soon as the Dragons started getting momentum, it just popped off in here.
Yeah, you got to think that Shanghai, with the noise that this crowd are making, Shanghai can definitely hear it. And they know that whenever they get on the stage, they have that kind of backing. And we saw big plays coming out from the Shanghai Dragons the later it got on. They were able to take point A very quickly. Numbani, excellent for these kind of dive teams like the Shanghai Dragons are. When Addo's over on the Genji, like we said, gets good value out of it. This play from Meko, pretty cool. But in general, the Shanghai Dragons were able to slowly claw their way through, defeat the slightly slower composition coming out from the NYXL, and grind it out. And even when they moved off the Genji, Dia was putting up big performances in the Widow v Widow. Yes, he wasn't statistically the better Widow of the two during the match so far, but he was getting key picks that allowed Shanghai to blast forwards and kind of catch New York unawares. I don't think they were expecting them to be this good.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but they held on .3 for almost 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a significant amount of time.
That is no small feat to be able to do, especially considering how just aggressive New York were playing against the Dragons. They had them back .3 at the start of the game.
Yeah.
And then for them to be able to bounce back like that, it's very impressive. And then you had mentioned, we got to talk about Dia here, Brent, because Dia has been, like he said, key kills. And sometimes those don't always show up on the scoreboard.
No, they really don't. And Sideshow, you mentioned as well, you know, Dia really turned up big time on the Widowmaker. New York probably not expecting this, but he had a phenomenal game. He was really setting the pace of this for Shanghai Dragons. And Widowmaker is one of the best heroes you can play when maybe you're not so good at managing your ultimate economy. Ultimate economy being how well you use your ultimates at the best times. But Dia really had a great performance with the shots he was hitting, setting the pace for Shanghai, allowing them and enabling them to really get the full hold and also push it all the way into that checkpoint.
And like I was saying, it's not like he had a ridiculous game statistically. He went 11 for 7 on the Widowmaker. New York pretty good at shutting him down. But when he wasn't shut down, he was getting picks that allowed them to win fights. And that's the big difference before. It was like Shanghai Dragons, they had a dude, and if he popped off, they were doing okay. But just in general, they weren't able to capitalize on those picks as much. Now it seems like Shanghai have got to the point where if somebody's having a star level performance on their team, they can actually turn that into fight wins, and they can start bringing it to these teams.
Yeah, this is, oh boy, this is going to be interesting as we get ready for Nepal. I think the Blizzard Arena needs to go ahead, pick up those Sour Patch Kids Thunder Sticks and make some noise because Shanghai Dragons need your energy. So why don't we go ahead and make that happen? Let's make it happen, baby. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we got Nepal and Route 66. Will the Dragons do the unthinkable, or will NYXL come out on top? We'll see you on the other side.
If you're in the Los Angeles area, come experience Overwatch League live at Blizzard Arena. For tickets, check out access.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Contrary to what a lot of people thought was going to happen in this match, the Shanghai Dragons and NYXL are tied 1-1 at the half. Now, quick thought, because I'm thinking about the next stage and what's going to happen. and thinking about good players who play Tracer, like Sabiel, what's going to happen when Brigitte's in the game? Because I know when I'm playing Brigitte and I see Tracer, I start the drool and salivate because I can stun her, and she's done. So we're really going to see how good these Tracer players like Sabiel are come next stage. But anyways, guys, the Shanghai Dragons, they can win this. They're tied up right now, and honestly, here at the Blizzard Arena, they got the home field advantage. Like, seriously, so many people here cheering on the Dragons. So let's see if they can pull it off and get back into this matchup with our casters, Monty and Dope.
Thanks, Malik. That's right. We're all tied up. NYXL versus Shanghai Dragons. Shanghai taking Numbani. Tie match going into map 3.
Tie match going into the map 3, but it is going to be Nepal now. I think this is where NYXL is really going to get rolling. They have made a substitution as well for this this next map. Should be interesting.
That's right. Yeah, no big surprise. Mono back in for Jonas. There he is. Jonas out, Mono in. Usually they bring in Jonas for the hybrid maps, then they take him out.
It's been a lot more scattershot this stage. It hasn't seemed like there's a lot of logic in between when they use Mono and Jonas, but we will see Free Feel coming in for Sky.
Yeah, okay. Sky has been a good pickup for the Shanghai Dragons on the support side, so I'm a little bit surprised to see him taken up, but we'll see what the classic Shanghai support combo can do as we go forward to our control map. It's going to be Nepal. Yeah, like you said, Monty, this is where it gets a little bit tough, because when it comes down to the skirmishes, when it comes down to the little individual fights, I think nobody can question New York's kind of dominance in that individual skill category.
Yeah, it is going to be, I think, rough for the Shanghai Dragons, but they are going to do a strategy that we've seen them use on Sanctum before, which is having Fearless on the Roadhog.
Right.
And running the Roadhog Diva tank combination. So a little bit more aggressive, but it does leave them without a lot of staying power on the point, so they have to make a pretty fast attack before New York is going to be able to set up with the Orisa and get the shield down.
Yeah, Shanghai has no shields, so Sabiel B might just have a field day with this Widowmaker here. It might be a little bit tricky. Gregory, of course, going to try and absorb as many shots as she can with the Diva, but it's not going to be too easy. Ooh, there's one shot already. Fearless having to take a breather early. Grabs a health pack. Or grabs the Orb of Harmony anywhere for Free Field. Now they're going down. Shanghai tried to come in. Oh, he goes for the hook, but the shield is already there. He gets hooked instead. Barely stays alive, but Jonak got the kill on the altering already. And Fearless just cannot keep himself up. And that's going to be New York taking the point early, and they're already chasing the Dragons back.
Yeah, they're trying to get Free Field. They will stagger him at the end.
Yep.
And New York, they can turn the Orisa barrier into the small rooms they were dropping into because Dia was with the rest of the team. There was no pressure over the point, so they got to just sit behind the barrier and hook the Roadhog for free.
Yep.
You need to provide pressure on the other side with the Widowmaker over the point, so they can't just turn the Orisa shield like that. Otherwise, your strategy is just not going to work.
That's exactly what we saw. Shanghai going to stick with it, though. Jaeger and Fearless still on the Diva Roadhog comp. Dia does get the kill on the Sabiel B. He's been doing really well in the Widow battle today, but now the Riptire coming in, takes down Fearless immediately. And so Shanghai having to fight it out, -1 tank here. Altering.
You can get that kill, but the res is going to be there. So they are going to manage to resurrect Fearless, however. Gregory gets D-backed on the point.
I mean, the trouble with going for that res while you're trying to assault the point, and that occupies the Mercy, right? Then the healing's not going to come in, and then you're able to go after the Diva, and then you're able to go after other picks, and that's generally how it goes. Meko barely stays alive for the moment. Whole Hog coming in for Fearless. Now Sabiel B does get the kill onto Gregory. Meko getting really aggressive here. He's kind of a little bit too far forward, yeah. And he'll pay for it, though. New York, not too worried. They're already up to near 70% here in the control percentage. Shanghai just hasn't made any progress yet.
It's okay. Just damage boost Jonak while he's in Fearless's face. That way you can get to Meko to resurrect him. No problem whatsoever. And look at the number of ultimates on the side of the NYXL right now. Infrasight and the Riptire, the only things that have been used as we're approaching 100% for the XL.
As Shanghai needs to get something done, they need to get it done right now. New York with a lot of ults to spare. Meko pulls out that old hog, pushing Shanghai back, gets a D-Mech onto Gregory. Meanwhile, Freefield comes in with the Transcendence. There's a, well, you don't even need that hook. He was already on the way out. Meanwhile, that's a trap, I think, setting up Fearless for the kill from Jonak. And Altering trying to go for the res. He does manage to bring Freefield back up again, but what's the Zenyatta going to do on his own like that? It's going to be tough, and that's going to be New York taking Sanctum, making it look easy that time.
Yeah, I think they just had the number. They knew which composition Shanghai's going to be running. Again, Shanghai is relatively transparent, but they have thrown some interesting stuff in. Having the Pharah on Numbani was a new look for the Shanghai Dragons, but running that composition was not, and it's very difficult, I think, to run that comp on Sanctum when you have a team that is so good at playing around Orisa as the NYXL, because remember, even back as far as Stage 1, NYXL was using Orisa way more than any of the other teams in the league.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to go to Shrine for our second round here in Nepal. New York looking to close this out. Short and sweet here on a control map. Shanghai wants to force that third round. We'll see if they can do it.
Round 2.
It's going to be the Lucio's giving everybody a quick boost before swapping back to the Mercies on both sides.
Yeah, this is one of the comps that NY likes to run on Shrine with the Tracer and the Junkrat when they're confident that they're not going to be dealing with anything with too much verticality, and likewise Shanghai Dragons, pretty standard Soldier Tracer. We see this so often on this point.
Dia down already, though. Libero just finds him with a grenade. Altering going for the res, it looked like. See, maybe he can get to him, it's hard to say.
He's got pushed off, though.
I guess so.
It's really, now it's going to be impossible for him to get it. It's a 6 versus 5 in favor of the XL.
Yeah, pretty much. They're on the point right now. They've nearly got it flipped. Fearless down. That's going to help out New York a little bit. There goes Altering. It's just cleanup now for New York. That's going to be them getting the control percent building first.
Yeah, Otto and Geguri falling back as Freefield goes down. And the control percent does start building. Animo got a lot of healing done in the poke battle, and as a result is close to the first Valkyrie. Dia now switching to the McCree.
Wow. Yeah, that's just Jonak things pretty much. 7 final blows so far and 0 deaths. Kind of comes what we come to expect from Jonak. Fearless down.
Yeah, Fearless is just going to get knocked down in the choke point. And they're just going to wait right now. They've got the Valkyrie. They have the Riptire for the next approach. It's a patient game here from the NYXL. They don't have to make any moves. Just wait until Shanghai decides to walk in.
Yep. Pretty much. Ooh, wow, they caught Fearless. They just split him off from the rest of the team. And the tire coming in. It's almost a celebration now for New York. If they can land it, get any kills here, they do. They find Freefield. Animo gets the res on the Libero. Meanwhile, Freefield brought back up by his own Mercy. But New York just delaying, just building more control percent. And hey, I think you're going to be pretty thrilled with that.
And it's just these little things from the Dragons. Like, Fearless goes in, and they use the Valkyrie, but Altering's not in line of sight of Fearless, so Fearless thinks he's going to get healing, and he doesn't get it when he goes in. So it's these disconnects between the front and the back line that have tortured the Shanghai Dragons throughout Stage 3, but you see how close they are. And when things do click, we do sometimes see those nice holds like on Numbani. It's not clicking consistently right now.
It's like we said going into this one, man. Control maps is where teams really get to brawl, really get to bring out that individual skill, and nobody touches New York really in that category on a team level right now. Damage onto Dia. He flopped over, flipped and flopped over to the McCree.
Flipping and flopping like a fish out of water.
That's right. In trouble. He's got the Deadeye, though. So he can get any kills out of it. No. Just flopping away as the damage came in. Libero throws out the Riptire again. Another one on a Freefield. You can float, but you can't hide.
Geguri did kill Libero during the animation, though, of the Riptire, so takes a pretty important kill right there. Meko does have to use the self-destruct and is killed by Geguri's self-destruct on the opposite side, so...
Shanghai, they're grinding this one out. They do take the point. It's at 99%, but hey, they got something.
They are going to grab it back in overtime at NY. A lot of ultimates used as well. Basically everything. They're not going to be coming in with an easy retake now.
Yep. Well, New York has plenty of time to build up some ultimates. They can just kind of push a couple times, build that percentage, and then push a bit more seriously. We will see. A lot of damage coming in on Shanghai already, though. That's going to be a stick. Ooh, I think that one might have gotten eaten, though.
I think it did get eaten.
I heard the stick sound, but then it seemed to kind of disappear.
Yeah, Fearless was chunked out by the Junkrat, and they tried to get the pulse bomb down onto him.
Yep. All right, Geguri fighting it out. Meko a little bit low. They get the kill on the Fearless, though. New York with a good start here. Meko does get demeched in exchange. Can they stay on the point. They're up to 50% already, and now they're coming in. It's going to be Animo with the Valkyrie. Shanghai on the run. They get the kill on the Meko, though. That's what they need. They force the Transcendence out of Jonak as well as Gegri gets in his face. Animo gets a res on the Meko, though. Oh, there's a push-off on the free field. Mono boops him off the edge, and then Libero comes in with the tire. And now Shanghai reeling in a lot of trouble. Gegri pops that self-destruct. Can't get back in the mech, though. And there goes Otto. So New York stomps this fight. Trying to take back this one. They will with the kill on the Fearless. Now Dia on his own. He's going to get picked off easily, and that's going to be the map. New York Excelsior with a quick 2-0 here on Nepal to retake the lead in this series.
Such great patience from New York, waiting for their ultimates to come back online, not attempting to force the fight against Shanghai as they poke away at each other. But it's New York that comes out with a host of ultimates and washes over the point for the win.
Yeah, what can you say? It's New York, right? Goodbye. No mech. We'll be back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
Everything is being committed to this fight by the NYXL.
What a roll from Shanghai.
You can just see it coming from a mile away. Save Yobi.
Oh, Dia starting to go crazy here.
Oh, they're getting serious.
Welcome back, everybody. New York Excelsior taking the lead versus the Shanghai Dragons in probably one of the shortest Nepal maps we've seen in a while.
Yeah, it was pretty dominant from the NYXL, only going for those 2 points. But we do have a substitution.
Guess who? It's Route 66. So we got Pine coming in. That's right. It's Pine time, ladies and gentlemen. Libero sitting on the bench for this one. But man, after seeing what Pine has done lately, how can you not put him in? Think about what he did to Dallas yesterday. It was just a highlight reel from start to finish.
And speaking of that highlight reel from start to finish, Doa, I think we have a highlight reel.
Do we have a highlight reel we can watch from start to finish?
I would really like to watch this highlight reel of Pine from
I wonder if one will be coming soon. The suspense is killing me.
I really enjoy highlight reels of Pine.
Is building. Me too. Oh, we're told that it's coming. It's Pine time.
Exceptional performance from Pine yesterday.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to see the kill on AKM's Tracer at the end of that shot, but taking a look at that, you can see how he's moving his hitbox around constantly when he's in between those shots.
Does things like 360s as he flies through the air, and
it was stylish yesterday.
This guy is just on another level,
man. It was
man.
stylish yesterday, and it might be stylish again today, Noah.
It could be. I mean, it seems like whenever we see Pine on Route 66, he's got the Widowmaker out, and it's bad for the other team. It gets real bad real fast. So Shanghai Dragons may have a bit of a tough time ahead of him. But you know, I will say Dia's been looking pretty good on the Widowmaker today, but that was against Libero. Now Pine's coming in. This is like the final boss as far as like Widow v Widow goes right now.
I definitely agree with you. The big boss is also the final boss.
Final boss, the biggest boss, the best boss.
Is he the best boss?
He'd be a good boss, I think. Well, unless he like shoots you in the head from a mile away. Then that's not so great, I don't think. Yeah.
But I do agree that Dia's been doing well in the Widowmaker. However, Doa, the Shanghai Dragons are not going to be playing the Widowmaker on this defense. Another unorthodox defensive composition for them where they are relying on aggression on the back lines and an all-in strategy rather than creating zoning and distance via the Widowmaker.
Some last-minute swaps from New York as they get ready to come out here. I don't think Mano's going to be staying on the Zarya.
No, he's just going to shield Pine and let him grapple shot. Yep. Then he will change.
This works really well. You keep your Widowmaker safe just in case there's a Widow on the other side. Pine looking for shots. He is safe, so there's a swap over for Mano. Animo threw that Sonic arrow out as well, so New York just kind of crossing the T's and dotting the I's to make sure there's no cheese coming in from Shanghai.
As you can see, Pine is second only to Saya player as Widowmaker in the rate of final blows on enemy DPS.
I wonder what the winner of consecutive final blows within like 2 seconds of each other is, because I think Pine would probably win that one. Oh, there's one already. All right, Fearless down. Looking for more. Pine on the roof right now. Doesn't hit the shot onto Altering, but Freefield feeling pretty pinned down at the moment. They're going to chase him down with the tanks, flush him out for Pine to take a shot. Mano down, though. Dia did get the kill there, but Freefield fell elsewhere. Oh, now Pine fighting it out with Otto on that Genji. They're going to push Otto back. Meanwhile, the payload moves.
And this is the problem, right? Is that New York is so good at methodically taking over space that you end up, even with just a kill there, being pushed all the way back into these choke points, and you have to re-enter in a tough situation.
Oh, he loves these close range ones. Looking for the shot. He did manage to hit Dia once. Meanwhile, Mano bounces off Altering, sends him to the underworld. There's Kaguri's mech. Can he take it out? Oh, there's Fearless down. That's a problem here. Pine took him out. Got Kaguri's mech. He basically took out both tanks, and now it's a game of chicken with Otto. The reflect comes in. Pine backing up a little bit. Oh, there's one on a Dia. What in the world? What can you do versus Pine? What can you do?
He is playing ridiculously right now, Doa, if only because he's trying to, like, close-range scope people instead of even using his fully automatic mode. This is definitely Pine attempting this style right now because it's not an efficient way to deal with this situation.
It's like he doesn't believe he can take damage. He's like, I'm 2 feet away from a Genji. I don't believe I can take damage in this situation. I'm just going to scope in.
It does help that today and yesterday on Route 66, it really has been the Pine pocket. It's been Meko sitting behind him with the defensive matrix. When there's an enemy Widow like we saw yesterday, it's been Animo helping him out all the time.
Yeah, that's right. Pine backing up for the moment as Shanghai gets aggressive on the team. It's going to be the Valkyrie from Ultring, but he's already taking a lot of shots from Sabielby. Sabielby waiting for it. Now here comes Otto with the Dragon Blade. Sabielby gets a kill onto Dia, though, to start things off. And now Pine getting chased down. Oh dear. Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Knocked off the edge.
You could do.
But the price of that one kill Doa was 2 support ults and a Dragon Blade from the side of the Shanghai Dragons.
That's what it takes to kill Pine, man. That does not surprise me one bit. Meanwhile, Shanghai lost a couple people here, but they managed to stall the payload out. Altering down, though. New York looking like they're not going to wait too much longer. Yep, payload already moving again.
Yeah, they just fell back temporarily. So Shanghai devoted 2 support ultimates coming forward, or 1 support ultimate rather, the Valkyrie and the Dragon Blade. They scared the ult out of Jonak, but that was when Fearless had to jump back and deal with Pine during the Primal Rage, and they really didn't stop the payload at all, so the price for getting that was far too high.
Indeed, Pine with a open corridor to shoot down. Threading the needle here, doing damage. Some of the tanks body blocking for Dia, trying to give him a shot in the Widow v Widow. Altering down already, though. Meko just charges in and finishes him. Now the Transcendence used by Freefield as they try to hold this point here. Fearless getting aggressive onto Pine. You gotta be Fearless to go after this guy. The Widowmaker. It's another blade coming in from Otto. Cuts down Meko, going after Pine, and Mano there to finish off Otto after he gets a kill onto Pine here. So Kakery's still on the payload for the moment. Looks like Shanghai just scrambling here. They've only got the tanks and Altering there to keep them alive. Self-destruct on the point. There's a pulse bomb onto Fearless. So New York still trying to grind this one out. It's been Mano and Sabielby just keeping the push alive here.
Yeah, Dia switched over to the Tracer to make it back just a little bit faster to try and hold, but they are not going to hold. Nope. And we will see point C from the New York Excelsior as they move into the warehouse. Pine, not gonna change, not switching nothing.
Nope.
As he sticks on this Widowmaker, but a lot of changes coming in for the Shanghai Dragons. They are going to run the Reinhardt, and Dia over with the Zarya now.
Meko managed to get the Bunny Blaster headshot onto Otto there at the end of that last little fight. Doesn't have his mech back yet, but still getting kills anyway. Fine, waiting for it. Ooh, that one right over the head of Freefield. That was close. That one going into the head of Freefield, but Otto right there to finish him. Took too many shots. Sabielby gets the kill onto the Zen anyway. Now it's going to be Sabielby maneuvering his way through the fight, looking for a pulse bomb, but may not need it just yet. Otto with the reflect there, but now it's over. The damage coming in. Kakery down to about half health, but she's getting the healing from Altering. There's the stick. It goes on the front of the shield, though, so it didn't do any damage. Fearless down anyway. Mano finishes him off. Otto with another Dragon Blade, but he's trying to cut through the Transcendence from Jonak, and it's not going to work out. Pine coming in with a shot anyway at the end.
As Shanghai has been trying all of these different tactics to deal with Pine. They switched to Widow Genji for a while on point B to attempt to maximize that pressure. But the problem is that it's only the Genji and the Diva on the Shanghai Dragons that can get back to Pine right now.
The other problem is that it's Pine, and he's pretty much impossible to beat.
Oh, couldn't quite tap Kakery for the last little bit of HP.
Meanwhile, Mano walking around. What are you doing back there? It's kind of funny to see him all the way down, really behind the spawn there. Gonna rejoin his team a little bit. Gonna send in the self-destruct. Sabielby gonna capitalize on that, following down. There's the Earthshatter, came in, didn't get a whole lot of people though, it seems like.
Just got Mano, and Mano didn't die.
No, that's it. Yeah, that kills off Kakery. Sabielby gets Dia, no more Widow pressure. Onto New York here as they have nearly finished. A minute 50 on the clock yet. Shanghai's eating up some time, but it looks like it's all New York here. Fearless gonna be removed from the battle. Now Kakery coming in. Gonna try to delay as long as possible with Altering. Still alive, and there's the Transcendence from Jonak. They just want to finish this one cleanly, keep everybody up. Meanwhile, Mano sitting in the doorway with the Primal Rage, preventing the respawns from getting there from that side. And they've nearly got it.
Yeah, Transcendence going to have them make the cart, though. Fearless is back with the Mei and is in Ice Block, but will be killed very quickly.
Oh, Kakery demeched about as fast as you can be. And that, Otto coming in. Shanghai doing a pretty good job of staggering here. They take it down to a minute 12, but New York will finish.
Long delay from the Shanghai Dragons at the end of the map. Not a bad stagger, but NYXL with time in the bank.
Oh, the hat came off. The hat came off, ladies and gentlemen.
Serious business now, Doa.
That's right. That's like when Goku kind of drops the 500-pound wristbands. Like it's on now.
His brain was overheating from all those plays, so
there you go.
Gotta cool it off now.
Shot's just too hot. Well, Shanghai with a chance to attack here, but they've got to run into Pine. That's going to be tough.
Pine was actually responsible for fully half of his team's deaths on that last map. 4 out of Excel's 8 deaths came from Pine, but they were going after him pretty hard. And also Pine was not playing with the most reserve. I think reckless abandon might be a better way to describe how he was playing in that last match.
Yep, I think that's pretty appropriate to Pine's style that we've become familiar with over the course of the season. But it is time for NYXL to take up the defense now. Pine going to still stick on the Widowmaker. Of course, you know, why change? CBLB going to be doing just fine on the Tracer as well.
Yeah, Shanghai wants to run a pick composition, so their answer to Pine is going to be an enemy Widowmaker, a Tracer, and then having a barrier as well as Fearless with the Breather to heal up any damage that he's going to put down.
Operation Get Pine.
Well, it's more like Operation Survive Pine.
Operation Survive Pine. That doesn't sound anywhere near as exciting, though.
And keep the payload moving. I like this if you're dealing with an overwhelming Widowmaker. Why not go for this? Force them to challenge you on the cart.
Sure.
And then you have the halt and hook to reel them in. Get some picks.
2, 1.
And it's time. Shanghai Dragons, the door's open. They are on the attack. Pine already with a kill on Adia. Oh, dear. That's right, no speed limits allowed, although the payload never does seem to reach 35 miles an hour. Oh, Pine gets brought in. The kill. Oh, he's right there. Meko with the save. Somehow Pine survives.
Meko's like, damn it, Pine, not again.
Jeez. Come on, Pine. Should go in their defensive matrix while you run away.
It does feel like sometimes that Meko is Pine's babysitter on these.
I mean, I think Meko is just the babysitter for NYXL in general, man. He's there to save everybody. Chase down a couple kills once in a while, but mostly save the DPS and supports. Or support, I should say. Jonak counts as a DPS, and that's exactly why Jonak with a headshot on a free fill. And another, as I say it, Jonak comes up with the 2K. Pine finishes off altering, and that's going to be a hold. Goodbye, Kakari. And Jonak, oh, he pays for his hubris in the end. But Pine keeps him safe with the kill on the free field. There's the Reds coming in from Animo.
See Pine thinking about trying to snipe their spawn again. And
oh, goodness.
Waiting.
And
he waits for the Widow.
Oh, that's... Never even saw it coming. That one's tough.
I don't understand how Pine even sees these opportunities.
I don't know, man. The hat came off. That's all I got to say.
So Shanghai coming back through the tunnel right now, which is a good strategy with their composition, but not if you're going to get bottled up with a pulse bomb.
I was going to say, it's a great strat until the pulse bomb comes in. Pine! Pulse bomb comes into him too. Fair's fair.
Well, this is great for the Shanghai Dragons. They got the chance to resurrect because their tanks were still there, and the NYXL are going to get pulled apart right now. They only have supports, and supports are easy to hook.
That's right. Easy to kill too once in a while. Don't see that often with Jonak, but meanwhile, New York has a cool 5 ultimates to try to defend B. Shanghai moving through point A pretty quickly, but this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky.
All this open space.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot more challenging for the Roadhog to find a hook here with many parts of the saloon that you can hide behind as the payload passes it by.
Yeah. Oh, nice halt though, Dia.
Very nice.
Pine right in his sights, man. That is how you use it. Pine brought back up again, and he's looking for revenge now, that's for sure. Otto gets the D-Mech onto Meko though, so Shanghai in a great spot here to keep pushing.
Yeah, Pine going to try and creep around behind the payload, but so far, free movement on the objective for the Shanghai Dragons.
Yep, they're going to jump on them right at the end, it looks like. Pine crouch walking his way. Around the back, trying to take the shots. Ooh, it's so close, 21 health, and Dia gets him. Wins the 1v1, Pine looking mortal.
Yeah, Pine struggling against Dia there at the end. Went for the aggressive flank peek, but it didn't end up working out. Meanwhile, back on the payload, it has stopped out. Meko is going to use his self-destruct, and they're going to pop the Transcendence just to make sure that Meko has an opportunity to remake.
And win or loss, Dia's had a great day on the Widowmaker himself. Shanghai just pushing right through B. They're going to finally lose some people at the end, but the help brings everybody in. Kakari trying to stand strong on the point right now. Pulse Bomb doesn't do much, but it does push Shanghai back and allow New York to get those kills.
Yeah, they're going to stagger Fearless too, keeping him there long enough just to add a few more seconds of tranquility at the end of this defense. And now I think they're going to have to swap now, and indeed they are. Fearless needs to move off of the Roadhog, even though he does have the whole hog, because there's no quick way to re-establish control with the Roadhog and the Orisa at the end of this point.
Yep. Oh, Pine with the revenge on the Dia. The res coming in. Going to use the infrasight to keep track of people. He knows exactly where Dia is. Oh, Dia smartly grappling away. Shots coming onto Fearless, though. Pine needs to watch out for that hook, and that's exactly why. Fearless brings him in. Ooh, kept alive by the Transcendence, so Pine getting out. Barely made it out in time. Fearless can say the same thing. And Pine looking for a few more shots. Meanwhile, Meko trying to push everybody into Pine's line of sight. He's got that self-destruct there. Meanwhile, Otto brings in the Pulse Bomb to kill off Meko right as he popped out of the Diva suit, but New York Excelsior coming out on top of this fight, but somebody's being sneaky here.
Otto with the attempted the back cap. Didn't want the NYXL to be able to focus on cleaning up a lot of the kills in that fight. Dia also finds another shot onto Pine in the ensuing chaos as Pine has to turn around.
Yeah, Save will be there for his fellow DPS though, and sticks a Pulse Bomb to Dia on his way out. 1:30 on the clock now for Shanghai Dragons. New York nearly with a hold here on B, but it's been competitive.
It has been, and Fearless now will switch over to the Winston. Maybe one fight too late.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of the Roadhog on B. Like you said, there's just way too much open space. But a couple hooks came in, but mostly Fearless just kind of walked around and used a breather and gave ult charge to New York. It's been tough. The swap, we'll see at the very end if it works out.
They're going to keep pushing the payload right now. They've actually moved everyone on the NYXL off the cards.
Yeah, no kidding. They're less than a meter away from finishing B. Fearless does get the kill on the Pine. Now the self-destruct coming in for Kagri. Catches Shonak. That's a problem. Kagri got the D-Mech on the Meko as well. Single-handedly kind of turning this fight around. And now it's just Mono on the point.
Sabielby is there as well. Does get two with the Pulse Bomb and kills Kagri.
What?
It's just a one-on-one with Otto and Sabielby now.
Oh, and this is about the point B. Can they do it? Pine comes in at the last moment. Otto trying to win this duel to get it there, but Sabielby right there. Otto does get the kill on the Pine, but now Meko returns. Otto got Sabielby too, fighting the 1v2, and he gets both kills. They don't complete B, but man, what an effort by Otto.
It was both Tracers popping off Doa, because if Sabielby doesn't get those kills, there's not even a chance for the defense. The rest of Shanghai are back though.
10 seconds, Jonak right there. I can't believe they stopped him for so long here. Now Sabielby down. Shanghai should be able to finally get B. They will, just as it ticks into overtime. Minute and a half for Shanghai to try to tie this up.
1 minute 30 seconds, and here's Sabielby. Pulse Bomb over D-Max Kagri. Kagri then focused down by Sabielby, and that absolutely saves them time. It nearly gives New York XL the power to hold, but Otto comes up at the end with the 2K to make sure that Shanghai stays alive.
Yeah. Man, what an effort. Only a minute, though, for Shanghai to continue this push through C. This is a tricky point, and New York getting aggressive right off the bat. Otto backs away. Has a chance. Stick a bomb to Pine. Ooh, Pine puts a Venom Mine behind him. That's going to help him spot Otto, as Otto has to take that out.
Yeah, Adamo and Mono both ulted, though. And there's still 40 seconds remaining, so not very much. Shanghai fell back when they saw that and didn't give them an opportunity to get much value out of those ults.
Yep.
Payload's going to keep on moving now.
All right, Mono down. Good start for Shanghai. Otto sticks a grenade in there. Meko going to get D-Mexed here. D-Lifed as well. D did get Pine too. So Shanghai crushing this fight. And New York all the way back to spawn. The payload nearly there. We may be going to time bank here if they can handle the respawns.
We might be Doa, and they're going to have a Transcendence from Free Feel here soon.
That's right. New York scrambling. It's going to be Meko. They've got the Mercy back as well. Now the pressure on Nadia comes in from Mono. Push back again. Kagri nearly D-Mech, but Free Field comes in with the Transcendence. Zeno keeping everybody up. Meko just trying to delay this payload for as long as possible. Pine got the kill onto Otto, though. A DPS down. Dio gets Mono. The Widows going crazy here. Now Jonak comes in with the Transcendence. Self-destruct. No kills out of that one. Kagri gets D-Mech, though. She's out of the fight for the moment, unless she can get it back. Fearless down. They've lost both tanks, and now it's just the supports and DPS for Shanghai trying to keep this push alive. Echo out of his mech as well. Otto untouched in the back lines. He's putting so much damage in, but Jonah comes in with the kill on Dia. New York pushing back. Remember, they've got the spawn advantage. And I think Shanghai came close, but maybe not quite close enough as Otto is down. No, he's back. Finally dies, but he kept it alive long enough for Fearless to get there. That's going to be it, though, and NYXL barely squeak it out here on Route 66. They will take the series.
Shanghai with a couple of very close maps in this series, winning Numbani, pushing it towards the end of Route 66. Dia's Widow, I think, certainly, as you have said, Doe, a bright spot for the Dragons today, but it's not enough to overcome New York.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you do still see improvements from Shanghai pretty much every time you see him play. Dia's Widowmaker looked good. Otto's Tracer actually was certainly impactful at some of the points on Route 66. And although New York got the win, Shanghai, I think we do have stuff to look forward to from them in Stage 4. I know everyone talks about, 0-40, but I don't think Shanghai is going to come away with Stage 4 or win this.
Well, I can say this. Shanghai Dragons look better against New York today than the field did yesterday.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I think the next Shanghai-Dallas match is going to be pretty exciting here. New York, though, coming in. They get the 3-1, 7-1 on maps on the week against Dallas and Shanghai. And they're still looking good going towards playoffs, guys. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the desk breaks down that match.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
What's up, Blizzard Arena? This is Zoe, and I'm joined by End Boss Pine. Please give it up for him. him and his team, the NYXL, taking a victory over the Shanghai Dragons, and you're also guaranteed in the Stage 3 playoffs. Now, I gotta be frank with you, recently it just didn't look as if your team puts in like 100%. It wasn't quite the dominance we used to see from you. Is there a chance that you maybe have been like holding back something for the playoffs?
일단 스테이지가 긴 만큼 조금씩 휴식 기간을 가지면서 좀 천천히 가는 마음으로 승점 유지까지만 이런 식으로 스테이지 3를 마무리할 거라고 예상하고 있습니다.
So definitely, this season has been a long term been coming. So we needed some rest and we needed to take a break. And we can't just go full on 100%. So we were taking this time, taking the stage to kind of regenerate recuperate our energies. And that's why that's how our stage has been going so far.
All right, well, I see then that was a tactical decision right there. And I mean, honestly, in the overall standing, your team is still the top dog. You're still on that #1 seed. But for this stage, Boston overtook you. They have that #1 spot. So let's hear it from Pine. Who's the better team?
일단 저희가 시즌에서 1등하고 있으니까 저희가 잘할 겁니다.
It's pretty simple. We're ranked #1 for the whole season. So I guess we're the better team.
All right, there you have it. Love the confidence. Thank you so much, Pine. We're now heading over to the desk to break down the action.
I love the confidence. Love the confidence from the big boss Pine himself. Thank you so much, Zoe, for that. Okay, so welcome back. Here is Bren can breathe a sigh of relief that he does not have to eat the Shanghai Dragons flag.
He has a fabric-free esophagus, which is always a good thing.
Oh, my goodness gracious. What have we done? We've just devalued the desk. Let's go into the highlights here for Nepal and Route 66. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think you kind of look at Nepal here, and this was, that was actually really nice. Good job, replay guy. You just kind of look at like the difference between Shanghai and New York. I mean, it's like Shanghai just struggled to be able to play kind of the compositions that we're used to seeing on a map like Nepal.
Sure. A lot of trends continuing here as well. One being New York XL, an excellent control team. Another, Shanghai Dragons likes to debate us. They go even at the half, and then they can't quite get it together for a win. Maybe it does cast a curse in them, honestly. If we get too hyped at the half, I don't think it's ever going to happen. But another one was that the Janus curse is still in effect for New York, where they seem to be performing significantly worse when Janus is in the game. Then when Mano comes back, they're able to really take control of the match again. It's more of a stylistic thing. I don't think it's fair at all to blame Janus. I'll say that he's the worst tank of the two or anything. But the way that they play, I think they're still getting used to that new style with Janus. Honestly, the Shanghai Dragons gave them a much closer game than I think they were expecting.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. And a big part of this being Dia, despite the fact that it looks like he's dying in that clip as I was saying that. He had a great game, but also Ado as well. There was numerous clutch attempts by him. At one point, they were pushing into point B. We'll probably see it. And Ado manages to get the 1v2 clutch to help them push it all the way towards the end. Very close series between these two teams, much closer than probably New York were anticipating. And again, if you're a Shanghai Dragons fan, which you most likely are, because we're all Shanghai Dragons fans, aren't we? We all want to see them get the win. Where were you when
we're all Dragons now.
We're all Dragons now. It's promising. It's super promising because they are showing radical improvements. I've been, again, impressed with Kaguri, impressed with Ado, impressed with Dia as well. Dia was a question mark recently, so it's good times, good times.
On the flip side of that, you're going to provide them with the positives. On the same day that Boston Uprising have set the record in the league for the longest win streak of 14, the Shanghai Dragons have now set the longest losing streak in all of professional sports history. They've now overtaken the Philadelphia 76ers, who had a 28-match win streak. So now Shanghai are at 29. And so
lose streak.
Sorry, yes, of course, a lose streak, not a win streak, unfortunately for Shanghai. But it's inevitable that they're going to get a win at some point. I think people were saying that they're going to go north of 40. Do they look like they're still languishing? This is not a team. As Monty was saying it, they gave a better game to NYXL than Dallas did yesterday. I think when they start matching up, maybe when they take on the Mayhem, maybe another team starts slumping in stage 4, they can start to get wins together and they'll look a lot better.
What's the sport that the 76ers play, Josh?
That's handball with a stick.
He's not wrong, though, is he?
No.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's really wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
Basketball.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Stick in
Is it
basketball.
actually?
What do you call the thing with the net on? That's a stick.
It's a stick with a net.
And you throw it in the
You
net.
throw balls.
That's a hoop, dog.
No, handball, and you throw it in the
handball,
stick.
you throw it in the hoop stick.
Listen here, Overwatch League, I need Americans up here, please. Goodness gracious. Me, man's sake. All right,
so
that's it. He's
fast.
just holding me again. All right, let's go to the player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. It's actually going to be Meko, and the reason being, I think that, and Brent, you said it best when we were watching the games, these off-tag players, they got to get that love, right? And it's very clear that they just bring so much value to the team. Meko is definitely that person.
It's very easy to just look at the DPS players, Sabiobi, Libero, Pine, and automatically say, oh, they had a ridiculous performance. But the unsung heroes are really these off-tank players. And they are always making plays that you can't quite see. It's very subtle. It's the defense matrix at the right time. It's the boop at the right time. Meko, this entire series, was always tryharding, right? He was never really playing poorly, always consistently doing well, and never taking his foot off the gas. And I respect that to an immense degree, because he was really the one at certain times. New York, towards the end of this series, Pine wasn't taking it seriously. He was going for ridiculous shots.
He really
Who was there to save him? Meko. Meko was the one taking the game seriously. So MVP for me, MVP for everyone on the desk, because I speak for everyone on the desk. He's just a great player.
I don't disagree with that at all. It's just like everyone's coming out like laughing, high-fiving. Meko's just stone-faced serious, ready to brawl, you know? But that is why he is your player of the match, sponsored by Omen.
He knows Wizard Hyung's waiting in the dugout.
Yeah. he doesn't want to deal with the wrath of Wizard.
Exactly.
That's right. Oh, boy. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for the insight. And while we take a break, I got to educate these guys on what it means to understand professional basketball. And we have a great match coming up to close out the night. It's actually going to be the London Spitfire going up against the Seoul Dynasty coming up after the break. We'll catch you in a bit.